something you've alluded to in a previous show of ours, in fact, but I want to get to is Kevin Dunn. And after Vince McMahon wished himself the best in his future endeavours, Kevin Dunn, you speculated, and a lot of people have speculated, is going to be next on the chopping block. And I suppose, first off, what exactly is Kevin Dunn's roles in WWE? I know he's like a director, producer, but what specifically is he in charge of?
Well, on the live taping, he's the producer and director. So he sits in the truck, in the production truck, with the headphones on, and he's got all kind of buttons that he can talk to anybody on the floor. He can talk to the camera guy at position one, or camera guy on 2 or 3, or he can talk to the sound engineer who plays the music. He can talk to the announcer. He can talk to everybody. So he is directing everything you see on the floor, lighting. He is producing all that and directing all that. That's when all the shoots, the shots that nobody likes, that'll give you a headache. He invented that, and nobody told him to get away from it. And I know why he invented it, because if a punch doesn't look good, if it's moving, you can't tell. I understand why he did it. But in the years that he was Vince's right-hand man, I think he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And I think one guy that he rubbed the wrong way was Triple H. And I think he also rubbed Bruce Pritchard the wrong way. I don't know how much power Bruce has now. But I think in rubbing Triple H the wrong way is the same as rubbing Stephanie the wrong way. So, because he could overrule them, and they didn't like that. So, it's like an old wound, an old scar that's reminding you, well, this guy didn't want to do this, and this guy didn't want to do, and you couldn't tell him nothing. Because I've heard that Kevin Dunn would sit in, and I can believe this, in creative meetings and just trash everything they've done. That's not, he was Vince's guy in the creative meeting. So that's where a lot of negative comments went back to Vince through Kevin, and why a lot of stuff was turned down is because of him. Now Triple H, I don't even know if Kevin Dunn will be even invited to creative meetings anymore. But what I think will happen, Triple H going to be very political here, and he's going to play the sides against the middle, and they're going to come to Kevin. And I think first they'll try to make it a little bit uncomfortable for him and try to show everybody that he doesn't have the power he used to have. And that's a personal feeling. That's what I'm thinking. But I think what will happen, Kevin, he won't be released, because that would be almost the indignity of a lifetime for him, to be released from a company that he thinks in his mind, and maybe rightfully so, that he helped build. What I think he'll do, he'll just pick a date, and he'll say, well, like my old friend Vince McMahon, time to move on. He said, I love everybody, and hope you continue with your success, and I'm retiring. I think, and he'll retire. Is what I think. Now the other ones will be, he has some more bones to pick with anybody else. I think they'll just be released. But I think Kevin will retire. I think he's got enough money anyway. He's not depending on his next check to get by. He's probably a multi-millionaire. So, and he'll just may quit and go on a cruise. That's what I'd do.
You won't get this joke, but sorry, I changed the camera about 48 times there, so that's for Kevin Dunn in tribute of his frenetic camera style and
I
zooming in. Oh. Do you know there's a story actually? Sorry, Dutch. I want to ask you. Is apparently the Kevin Dunn's job supposedly was secured for life because his father rescued some tapes from a burning car. What's the story with that? Have you ever even heard of it?
I've heard that, but I never heard it before. I mean, I read it, And I read that recently. Where did he rescue these tapes?
I don't know. I think it was like in the, you'd say trunk, the boot of a car that must have gone on fire, and there was maybe some like master tapes in there that he. I don't know. I don't know any context of the story other than that.
But it wasn't Kevin Dunn. It was Kevin Dunn's father.
Ah, right.
I think that was what it was. But hey, if it was worth that to him, and I think Kevin was enough of a political behind the scenes worker, and he was just a yes man to Vince. And what else could anybody be to Vince? Because he had total control. Nobody could tell him anything. You could suggest things to him, which is why I always say you got to, when you pitched an angle to WWE Creative, you had to make them think it was their idea. So if it was their idea, oh, well, we got this great idea. They're not going to walk in and say, hey, Vince, Dutch has this fucking idea that I think you'd love. No, it's going to be their idea, but you don't care as long as your idea gets through. But I don't know about the burning car stuff, but I think if that was the reason, at least he followed through on his promise. Mm-hmm. How old is Kevin Dunn?
Oh, I don't know. I know he was working for the company in the 80s. I don't know how old he is. He must be 60 or so, maybe.
He got to be about 65, probably.
Mm-hmm. Time to retire.
Older. It is.